Blessings, everybody. I just want to share a word real quick about defeating defeat because that's one thing that we need to recognize how defeat comes to creep up on us and basically destroy us. But it actually comes to literally, little by little, get our mind off course and keep us from staying on track. Because, we deal with everyday life and the things that really aren't our concern. And so we just got a whole bunch of stuff piled up on another and up on another. And it will cause your mind to go in overload and keep you from operating in your purpose or even sometimes knowing what your purpose is. Because defeat is one of those things that keep you from moving and progressing. And so once you stop moving and progressing, it's hard to get your momentum back, especially if you have a set way of doing things. I heard E.T. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, he says that we should occupy our day, have each time slot. We're doing something. We're praying over here. We're reading over here. We're working out over there. We're meditating over here. And it's time for sleep, so the enemy has no time to really come at us because we're busy at all times. And so I found that to be a very profound statement, and it really works. But the thing is to be consistent because defeat is always working. You know what I mean? It's like a pesky dog always on, you know what I mean? Like, beat it, go on. You know what I mean? Or a mosquito, it's like, or if you walk or run outside or ride your bike, if you go too early in the morning, you're going to have that cloud of bugs. Or if you go too late, you're going to run into that cloud of bugs. No matter if you run faster or walk faster, it's like they just seem to be following you. And so that's how defeat is. So that's why we got to learn how to defeat it. And I was just thinking about how I think 1 Peter 5:8, where it says the enemy prowls around as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So we should be vigilant. The first part of that chapter is be vigilant. And so, the first part of that verse is be vigilant and sober minded. Because the enemy prowls around as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And so, because it's like defeat is constantly looking who it may defeat. Oh, that person. Oh, he wrote a book. Let me see what I could do to stop him and defeat him from getting that second one out. Because it's like once you start doing and breaking cycles, that no one else has ever done in your family or in your surroundings. You know what I mean? You want to keep that going. So you need other winners around you so you won't be defeated. And so that's why I like to keep people that's consistent with, helping me fulfill my destiny and to do what I aimed and set out to do. So that's why if you win and you need other winners around you and nobody's that's not jealous or, oh, I got a headache or I got a cold today, they won't benefit your circle. You know what I mean? Because they're really not benefiting theirs. So it's like you got to understand that business is business. So I'm counting on you to do what the projects that I put in your hand to do. So I really can't take no for an answer because I can't tell, the people that's waiting on me to put my resources out, no. Or I can't go back on, missing out on fulfilling my needs in them time slots, by occupying, like the Bible says, Jesus said, occupy till I come. Just don't be sitting around waiting for me to fall out the sky, And so that's the thing that we need to do. It's a story in the Bible too where it was Abraham and a beggar. It was a poor man begging at a certain town, every day. And the rich man kept walking past them, every day. So both of the men died. And the poor beggar was laying in Abraham's bosom in paradise, relaxing. And the rich man, he went to hell. They said he went to Hades and he was in agony. And he was like, Father Abraham, can you send Lazarus, to dip his finger in some water and cool off my tongue? And Abraham told him, there's a chasm that's been put between us where I can't get to you and you can't get to me. So that's how we must do defeat or anything that from our past that may have hindered us to no longer hinder us. Like the Bible says, forgetting those things which are behind us and pressing towards what's ahead, the mark of the prize. And so when you put these great chasms, you basically close the door so these things can't catch up with you anymore. So basically that's just shut out of my life. That's one more thing that I don't have to worry about bothering me no more, because that chapter of my life is over. And a lot of times when you don't do that, you'll be crying necessary tears a lot of times, because you're leaving the door open and making way for defeat to come back and creep up on you. But once you get fed up and, like I said, close that door and become all cried out. It's like it's an old song that says, I cried my last tear yesterday. So I'm tired of going back and forth with myself and toiling in my mind and crying about some things that all I had to do was close the door on. And basically defeat. Simple as that. Because I choose God's will over my desires. And I choose to flee my youthful lust. Anything that, I attracted as a youth or partook of will no longer affect me, because there's a great big chasm, in between us, where that stuff can't get to me and I can't get to it. That's why it's so important to protect the good deposit that was placed inside of us. And once you protect that, you're basically defeating defeat, because it's like you're not going to just be around anybody or any type of spirits, or allow anybody or any type of spirits to hinder the mindset that you have to stay on course and to look straight ahead and not look to the right or to the left. Because, hey, I'm just like anybody else. I'm single. There's an old song by Freddie Jackson. I could use a little love right now, but what would that get me? A few seconds of pleasure, and hinder my testimony, and put me back at one. It may even set me back further than back at one. So that's why it's so important to know you are more than a conqueror, and you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. So that's why it's so important for us to defeat so we won't be defeated. So I just want to share that real quick. Peace.